everyone, I'm your coach Marwan from Marwan Kilo Fitness and FitandLeanDad.com. In today's video I'm going to teach you 4 steps to a guaranteed six-pack, and you can do these steps every single day. So let's start. We've got number 1 is to reduce the body fat levels. Now, to get a six-pack you've got to be able to reduce your body fat levels to a certain amount so that you can see your six-pack appearing. Everybody's got a six-pack. Some are more developed than others, and that's why you see different people at different body fats have their six-pack appearing at different times. So you see some of the top IFBB pros, the guys with a lot of muscle, and typically about maybe 12 to 14% you start seeing their kind of six-pack over their belly. That's because of the amount of muscle that they carry on their body, that the six-pack kind of appears despite the higher than average body fat levels that they carry on the off season, so to speak. Okay, now most people think that they can reduce, or rather spot reduce, a certain area of fat over the body. This is actually not possible. You can work on that body part and start to develop that body part, and therefore you might be able to reduce, to kind of carry more muscle over that area, and so it's going to look more toned. But in terms of actually reducing body fat levels on a single body part, that's actually not possible. Even if you do work on your abs every single day, okay, you're not going to start reducing the overall body fat levels from the body unless from that area, unless the kind of the whole body you reduce the body fat levels on the whole body. And different people, as I said before in previous videos, will carry fat differently on their bodies. So for example, when I start to diet down, I tend to carry it more in the abs and in the hips, okay, and in the face. The first part that I start to lose it from is the face, okay, and the last part that I lose the body fat, the last part for the fat to fall off is the abdominal part, okay. So that's one. Now, many people start to ask, okay, what kind of diet should I be on? Well, that's the kind of the wrong mindset to carry, so to speak, okay? Because to be able to reduce your body fat down to low enough levels, typically probably about 10%, maybe under 10% body fat levels, you've got to be able to diet down consistently for a period of time. That six-pack is not going to come overnight, okay? You're going to go through highs and you're going to go through lows, and you're going to plateau as well at some point, okay? So you're going to be able to stick with the with your diet that you have for a consistent period of time. Now, the best diet that you can go on, the best advice I can give you is to follow the diet, or rather to... Diet is really the wrong word, but I would say eat consistently to what you can follow. Okay, so follow a regular eating schedule. For example, if 3 meals a day works for you, then go with 3 meals a day rather than following what Joe next door does, and he goes on 6 meals a day. If you're in meetings, if you are in kind of meetings throughout the whole day, and you have no chance to have 6 meals per day, then that's not going to be beneficial for you, because you're not going to be able to follow it. And when we don't follow something, you don't adhere to it, you're not going to be able to get the result that you want. And the same thing with the diet. Okay, so if for example, somebody comes up and says, oh, okay, the keto diet, I heard the keto diet is good for reducing body fat. Well, yeah, any diet is good for reducing body fat, but eventually that diet is going to become you're not going to be able to follow it. If you're a kind of person who can go without any carbs for an extended period of time, which is what keto is, then you by all means go ahead, follow keto if that works for you for an extended period of time. Excuse me, sorry. For me, I can't really go on keto because I like my carbs too much, and I won't be able to have enough strength or energy to train in the gym without any form of carbs. All right, so that's kind of point number 1. Point number 2 is to work out with weights. All right, so you don't have to work out with weights every single day because you're not going to be able to recover, but you need to do at least 4 days. Okay, 4 days a week with weights, and the other days you can do some body weight movements and you can do some ab workouts. Now, to be able to see your abs, like I said, you got to work on your abs directly. Yes, abs are kind of made in the kitchen, so to speak, but they're sculpted in the gym. Okay, so they're built in the gym and made in the kitchen. So the food is going to take care of your body fat levels, and the training is going to take care of your muscles, going to give you that shape that you want. Okay, without working, unlike other muscle groups, for example, the biceps, you don't really need to do a lot of direct biceps work. If you're doing a lot of back work, okay, especially like heavy deadlifts and rows and pull-ups and chin-ups, you don't really need to do much bicep work. But if you really want to get the body weight, if you really want to get that muscle popping, especially when you're taking the shirt off, you need to be able to, you need to work out, you need to do what, direct ab exercises. So these can be with a Swiss ball, okay, which are very, very good. You can anchor your hip flexors with the ball, so you can put the ball under your hips, and then you can do lots of exercises that way, or you can use stuff with the cables, or another one that you can do is stretch your abs. Okay, stretching movements. This can be done with a Swiss ball, or you can do with the ab wheel rollout. Okay, these are very, very, very good, and there's actually scope for progression as well. So you can go from the kneeling ab wheel workouts to the full standing one, which is absolutely brutal. Okay, so there's a lot of scope for progression there. In terms of cardio, I don't really like to work out, to do any kind of cardio. I like to kind of move a lot more rather than do any cardio. In my workouts, I do a lot of complexes, dumbbell complexes, final finishes, death ladders and stuff like that, barbell complexes, rather than actually do any kind of cardio, because they're more effective. And you've seen in previous videos that I recommend something like the battle ropes, do something like the pushing the prowler. Okay, you can get a really, really good workout with that, or even some tire flipping, which are a lot more effective because they're going to use a lot more muscles than just simply being the hamster on a treadmill, so to speak. Okay, so yeah, bear in mind that every day that you're going to be going in the gym, you're going to be in a calorie deficit, so you really don't want to do a workout that's too long, because every single workout is going to take away your energy for the next workout. Okay, so you imagine imagine like a kind of a petrol tank. Every single time you're going to the workout, the petrol tank is getting lower and lower and lower, and you're not really topping up that kind of energy. So it's that energy, so to speak. Okay, so then when you push yourself too much, then the kind of your hormone starts to go out of balance. All right, so cortisol starts to rise, testosterone starts to plummet, and things like this. And what we don't want when you're trying to get down to low body fat levels, you want to kind of balance out all your hormones, or at least keep the anabolic hormones, such as testosterone, growth hormone, and stuff like that, up as long as possible. Okay, you want to try and keep cortisol down as long as possible, because when cortisol rises, that's when your blood sugar rises, and that's when you find it really hard to get down to low body fat levels. All right, so point number 3 is eat enough protein. Now, I've spoken about protein on a number of occasions in my newsletters and my videos. Simply put, protein is the most thermogenic macronutrient out there. All right, and it's also helps you keep muscle on your body. Now, if you don't have enough protein, you're going to be eating a lot more carbs and a lot more fat to give you that, to make up your calories, which is okay. All right, which is okay on normal circumstances, but when you're trying to diet down to a low enough body fat levels, now you're gonna feel hungry. Okay, and the only way to keep yourself from feeling hungry and not snacking on anything and going beyond your amount of calories that you're gonna have for that day is to have enough protein. Now, the more protein that you have, the more full you're going to be. Obviously, you don't want to go above your maintenance calories, or rather the deficit calories that you've set yourself for that day or for that week. Okay, but if you eat enough protein, roughly about 30%, you need a minimum of 1 gram per pound of body weight. I would even push it up to 1.2 to 1.3, depending depending on you, obviously, and how you're feeling. Okay, but instead of maybe cutting, so you can have, let's just say you have 2,000 calories, okay, and you have 1.3 grams of protein on your 2,000 calories rather than going to 1,800 calories. You can still do it with 2,000 calories and just increase the protein up slightly. Okay, that's going to give you slightly more energy, and it's not if any macronutrient that you can eat more of without actually needing to, without putting on any kind of weight, it's the protein. That's because 30% of the calories from protein go towards digestion, so the loss in heat. Okay, not only that, but it helps keeps the muscle on your body, and you need a minimum of 1 gram per pound of body weight to maintain that muscle. Okay, that's very, very important. So that's why you should be having a lot more protein. So that can act as a kind of fuel for energy, okay, and it can kind of help you feel as though you're not dieting as such. Okay, one of the easiest ways to get down to low body fat levels, especially when you're dieting, is to not feel like dieting. Okay, and that's when you can introduce these kind of tricks. What I do sometimes, and these are only like once or twice a week, is increase my protein intake to about 70%, okay, of my total calories, and then you use a mixture of the other two, fats and carbohydrates, to make up the rest. Okay, but that's a kind of advanced only for the people that are really tracking your macros. Speaking of macros, do you need to calculate macros to get down to low enough body fat levels? Yes and no. Okay, if you're eating the same foods consistently, then you probably don't need to, because you know exactly how much. But once you start to kind of plateau, then eventually you're going to need to do it, because it's a bit like building a house without a blueprint. Okay, you know what ingredients go where, you know what materials go where, rather, and you know how to build the bricks, but then eventually you kind of lose sight of the rooms. You know what room goes where and how to do it. All right, the other thing that you can do, as well as protein, is to eat enough veg. Now, there's nothing new about veg there. You all know about the benefits of vegetables. Your nana's probably told you to have a lot of vegetables before when you're younger, and you're like, huh, why? Well, if anybody's been to their chemistry biology class before, you know that is it chemistry or biology? I can't remember anyway. I think it's chemistry, because you know about alkaline and acidic, right? Okay, so veg helps keep you healthy alkaline. That's going to give the body a lot more power to be able to reduce that body fat levels down. What it will also do is eliminate the estrogen, okay, and it helps to take out the fat and digest it, because they carry fiber. So two people can be eating the same amount of calories, 2,000 calories a piece, but one will have a lot more fiber and one will have no fiber, or rather more fiber than the other. Okay, and the person who's eating a lot more fiber, if you keep everything else the same, they're going to be reducing their body fat a lot quicker. That's because the fiber is kind of taking out the extra fat in the food, and therefore that kind of calories are getting lower. So instead of eating like 2,000 calories, when you're eating 2,000 calories, it's going to feel like it's 1,800 calories, so 200 deficit. Okay, because of the amount of fiber you're eating. Again, that's just an example. It's not necessarily how much how many calories that's actually going to take out. Okay, and the fourth and final one is sleep, minimum for 8 hours a day. Now, everybody will have a different opinion about sleep, but really sleep helps regulate a lot of our hormones. Again, I've spoken about cortisol before, but what people don't know is the interaction of hormones between each other. So you've got cortisol, then you've got adrenaline, you've got norepinephrine, epinephrine. Okay, all these are kind of fight or flight hormones, And when you kind of cortisol is up higher when you sleep, when you kind of sleep 8 hours a day, then you kind of help you be able to recover a lot faster, and growth hormone will rise a lot more, which will help actually partition the carbs to the muscles and the fat cells. So if you every hour, this is actually being proven by research, every hour that you sleep before midnight, it counts as kind of double, and the growth hormones I think rises at midnight or something. I can't remember exactly what hour, but it does rise, and it helps helps you recover a lot more. And if you don't sleep, then your cortisol levels will start to rise. When cortisol levels rise, then it's going to kind of your blood sugar will start to increase. Okay, when his blood sugar starts to increase, it makes it very, very hard to actually lose that body fat. Okay, because you constantly your blood sugar is going up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. So again, sleep as well, 8 hours, then your testosterone levels rise, your growth hormones rise, your feel-good hormones start to rise. And what you want to do is try and keep your cortisol levels down. Okay. Again, when cortisol rises, then your hormone ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, starts to rise. And that's when you start to get confused between am I hungry at this time? Am I not hungry? Or why am I feeling hungry when normally I don't feel hungry at this kind of time? Okay, that starts to play havoc. Lack of sleep starts to play havoc with your hormones. Okay. Again, leptin starts to play up. Leptin is a hormone which tells you when you're full. So that starts to play up, and then you start to eat a lot more because you're not full. Alright, so again, I hope that video was helpful, guys. Here are the four steps that you can take every day to guarantee six packs. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, share it with your friends, share it with your family, and leave me a comment. Let me know what video you want to do next. Alright guys, we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.